Hello students, welcome to the same topic that we studied in the previous class, and that topic's name was ASEAN. So earlier we had completed until up to here, that means the ASEAN flag, what is the logo and what is it actually. Before that we studied up to the three pillars. Now today we will continue studying from this point. So let us start then. The ASEAN security community was based on the conviction that outstanding territorial disputes should not escalate into armed confrontation. That means what? We are reading first about this pillar. That means there were three pillars. We are first starting from this ASEAN security community. What is the duty of ASEAN security community? Actually, we need to know about this. So the ASEAN security community was based on what? Conviction that outstanding territorial disputes should not escalate into armed confrontation. Clear? Whatever the disputes are there, that should not be turned into warlike situation or equivalent to war. That should not happen. So as this should not happen, who will not make it happen then? It's the duty of ASEAN security community that whatever the disputes, that should be settled through talks, not through wars. This was the main duty of ASEAN security community. By 2003, ASEAN had several agreements in place by which member states promised to uphold peace, neutrality, cooperation, non-interference and respect for the national differences and sovereign rights. So by 2003, ASEAN had several agreements. We are talking now about ASEAN. So it had what? It had made many agreements in place by which member states mean that 10 member states, they promised what? They promised to uphold peace. That means they will maintain peace. These 10 member countries will maintain peace. They will maintain neutrality. They will maintain cooperation. They will maintain non-interference in each other matters. And they will respect for national differences and sovereign rights. These 5 things under the ASEAN, under the agreements of the ASEAN, the 10 member countries had promised to do these 5 things. That means to maintain peace, neutrality, to cooperate, to non-interfere and to respect for what? The national differences and sovereign rights of the particular country. Clear? The ASEAN Regional Forum ARF, which was established in 1994, is the organization that carries out coordination of security and foreign policy. So after this, whatever the 3 pillars were there, that means security community, after that one more forum was established. After forming the 3 pillars, this fourth number was the forum, that was ASEAN Regional Forum, which was established in 1994, is the organization that carries out what? Coordination of security and foreign policy. That means what? This forum will look after what? Security also and the foreign policy of also of the member states of ASEAN. Short question might come regarding this ASEAN Regional Forum. What is ASEAN Regional Forum? So you have to write that it carries out what? It carries out the coordination of security and foreign policy of ASEAN or its member countries. Clear? After that, ASEAN was and still remains principally an economic association. While the ASEAN region was as a whole is much smaller economy compared to the US, the European Union and Japan, its economy is growing much faster than all this. Clear? So ASEAN was and still remains principally an economic association. Clear? This line is clear because we read it earlier that the main objective of forming ASEAN was to accelerate what? Economic growth. So based on this only we can tell that ASEAN was principally or primarily, it was what? An economic association. But while we compare ASEAN with bigger economies like the United States, the European Union and Japan, it's not very big. That means what? They are smaller in comparison to these 2 countries and this one organization. But its economy is growing much faster than all this. But when we count about the economic growth, then we can tell this that ASEAN is quite ahead in terms of economic growth in comparison to what? The US, the European Union and Japan. This accounts for the growth in its influence both in the region and beyond. That means within that Southeast Asian countries also and beyond also, they are growing very rapidly in terms of economy. The objectives of ASEAN Economic Community. This is the second pillar, as you can see. First we read about the security community, now we are reading about the ASEAN Economic Community, the second pillar. So the objectives of ASEAN Economic Community are to create a common market and production base within ASEAN states and to add social and economic development in the region. And what does this look after? As the ASEAN security look after the security purpose without having a war, the second pillar of the ASEAN community, that is ASEAN Economic Community, looks after what? They have the objective of creating a common market and production also. That means a common market will be there, and along with that production base will also be there. With what? With Asian states, whatever the 10 members countries are there, within that there will be a common market also and production base also, and to aid social and economic development in the region. And along with that they will aim what? They will aim the social growth also and the economic development also in the particular region of the Southeast Asian countries or the ASEAN. The economic community would also like to improve the existing ASEAN dispute settlement mechanism to resolve economic disputes, and whatever the disputes are economically between these ASEAN countries or the Southeast Asian countries, they will try to settle this, or they will try to resolve. Resolve means to solve. Whatever the disputes are there, they will try to solve using what? The ASEAN dispute settlement mechanism. This can also be related to one short question and answer. That means what? How the ASEAN or the ASEAN countries are trying to resolve their economic disputes. It's through what? The ASEAN dispute settlement mechanism. Through this mechanism only they are trying to resolve the economic disputes. Clear? So ASEAN has focused on creating a free trade area, FTA, for investment, labor and services. Apart from that, these are all about economy and how they are accelerating, how they are planning to be an economic, in terms of economy, how they can be growing rapidly. Under this, all of this, the economic part, we are reading about how they are focusing on that. So after this mechanism, which is to resolve economic disputes, they are also focusing on what? Creating a free trade area, FTA, for investment, labor and services. Free trade area in comparison to what? For three things they are focusing on creating a free trade area: for investment, for labor also, and for services also. Everything will come under this one thing, that is FTA. The US and China have already moved fast to negotiate FTAs with ASEAN. So looking at their rapid growth of economy of the ASEAN, now the United States and China are very keen and very interested to work with them, and as they are interested, they have already started negotiating the FTAs. That means they are eager to sign these free trade areas with ASEAN, which will support what? Which will support number 1 investment, number 2 labor, and number 3 services. Clear? Now ASEAN is rapidly growing into a very important regional organization. That means what? As a regional organization, ASEAN is growing very rapidly. Earlier it was what? Southeastern region, but now it has come beyond that regional organization to an international organization. Its Vision 2020 has defined an outward looking role for ASEAN in the international community. Now one vision is there of ASEAN, and this vision's name is Vision 2020. That means 2020. It has defined what? An outward looking role for ASEAN in the international. Now they are aiming to capture the economy in terms of what? Out of their area. That means out of Southeast Asian region, they are aiming in the international market. That means all over the world they are trying to expand their organization. This builds up on the existing ASEAN policy to encourage negotiation over conflicts in the region. Thus ASEAN has mediated the end of the Cambodian conflict, the East Timor crisis, and meets annually to discuss East Asian cooperation. So as they are aiming or eyeing on to expand their business or economic development to the international arena, that means in the whole world, but this thing they will do in their own policy, whatever the policy they were following, like they will not support war, they will negotiate, and whatever the conflicts are there, they will try to solve it through what? Through their mechanism. So thus ASEAN has mediated the end of Cambodian conflict. So ASEAN is successful in mediating what? By this policy, whatever the policy they are following to negotiate and to settle disputes. Firstly, they have been successful in bringing an end to the Cambodian conflict, number one. Then secondly, the East Timor crisis was there. They were also successful in bringing an end to this. Clear? And what they do? And finally, they meet annually to discuss East Asian cooperation. And once in a year, they meet every year. That means annually once they meet to discuss East Asian cooperation. How can the cooperation factor can be discussed, and through this East Asian cooperation, how can they expand their economy in terms of international arena and also in the southeastern region. They are discussing annually over that when they meet annually once. After this, the current economic strength of ASEAN, especially its economic relevance as a trading and investment partner to the growing Asian economies such as India and China, makes this an attractive proposition. So how they are growing, how can we assume that this ASEAN is very successful in its growth, especially the economy? Because fast growing Asian economies such as India, now in the 21st century we can assume that the Asian continents or the Asian countries who are fastly growing can be called as what? India and China. Thus India and China are also interested in having partnership with the ASEAN. So with this we can tell that the ASEAN is especially very successful regarding its economic growth. Clear? During the Cold War years, Indian foreign policy did not pay adequate attention to the ASEAN. So when there was a Cold War era, actually from 1945, after the end of the Second World War to disintegration of Soviet Union till 1991, Indian foreign policy, that means the foreign policy whatever of India, according to that the Indian foreign policy did not pay adequate attention. They were not interested in the ASEAN when it was formed first. But in recent years India has tried to make amends. Clear? But now India is very much interested in signing or in coming with the ASEAN. How they can come? They are making amendments. That means they are making some changes by which they can connect with ASEAN. It signed free trade agreements with 3 ASEAN members. Clear? Malaysia, Singapore and Thailand. Clear? So it has signed 3 agreements with 3 countries, that is Malaysia, Singapore and Thailand. Earlier what was the scene? India was not at all interested, but in the 21st century, as they are seeing rapid economic growth of the ASEAN, they are now interested. India is now very much interested, and they have already signed with the 3 countries, namely what? Malaysia, Singapore and Thailand. After this, the ASEAN-India FTA came into effect in 2010. Clear? Now the collaboration has come. That means what? The ASEAN, Association of Southeast Asian Nation, and between India, the free trade areas came into effect in 2010, means signed. This FTA was signed between ASEAN and India, and it was signed in the year 2010. ASEAN's strength, however, lies in its policy of interaction and consultation with member states. So what is the reason for their success? Because they have a very good policy, and according to this policy of ASEAN, their interaction and their consultation system with member states is very much fair enough to attract any country. So that is the reason that China, India and including US are very interested, because their policy are so good, and in the way they interact and consult with member states, that is also an added advantage for the success of ASEAN. So consultation with member states, with dialogue partners and with other non-regional organizations, and their policy of consultation and interaction remains same with the member states also, and with the other non-regional organizations also. That means what? Who are not the members, they collaborate in the same way, they support in the same way. It is the only regional association in Asia that provides a political forum where Asian countries and the major powers can discuss political and security concerns. And last but not the least, what is the main and foremost characteristics of ASEAN is that it is the only regional association in Asia. That means in the Asian continent, it is one and only regional association that provides what? That provides a political forum. That means one political platform is being given where Asian countries and the major powers can discuss political and security concerns. That means it gives a political platform in which the countries from Asia also can come, and other than Asian countries, other countries can also come from different parts of the world, and by this political platform, the other countries of the world and the Asian countries can sit together and they can have a discussion over what? Over the two issues, that is the political issue or political concerns, what changes are to be made and what are the problems related to political spheres, and along with that security concerns also they can discuss. So this is the only platform that is giving this political forum, in which the other countries and the Asian countries can come and sit together and they can have a discussion over this political issue also and the security concerns also. Security concerns can be related to terrorism nowadays. Clear? Now we can see that we have come to the end of this topic. Now we will just look at the picture. Leaders release postal stamps to commemorate Silver Jubilee of India and Asian Partnership in New Delhi on 25th January 2018. So this is the proof of what? This is our, as you can see, the picture of our Honorable Prime Minister, and along with that all the member states of ASEAN are there, and Indian Prime Minister is also there, and they are doing what? They are releasing postal stamps. Clear? And why they are releasing postal stamps? To celebrate Silver Jubilee. That means the friendship between the FTA signed between India and the ASEAN partners has what? Has completed 25 years. So in that occasion, the leaders of ASEAN and Indian Prime Minister all together are releasing postal stamp to celebrate the Silver Jubilee, and the date is 25th January 2018. So with this we come to an interesting topic related to ASEAN. Hope that you have liked this topic, and I hope that whatever the points we have discussed today, it's very clear, and we took almost 2 classes to complete this topic ASEAN. And with this I will wind up today's topic. Thank you.